So what? It's just sex.
Wait a minute.
And we are back for another week.
Hey.
As always, I'm Ron.
I'm Janelle.
And you're listening to So What? It's just sex. And it's week 3, I think, of season 2.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, it's so hard to keep track.
It's hard to keep track. And who's keeping track?
Well, we are. I mean, I am. You're not.
I'm not.
You're the talent.
Yeah, right.
You show up to the set, you're like, what time are we doing this?
Where are my Skittles in a bowl, all the red color
Is that what you're
ones?
calling wine now? Skittles?
Yeah.
Is that why? So the other morning when I asked you what you had for breakfast and you said Skittles?
It was a glass of wine.
Oh, that's fine.
No.
So it's every week it's really difficult trying to come up with new stuff to talk about. Mm-hmm. So this week we're gonna do something a little special. But before we get to that, we have like a new participant. I would say like a new listener who's been actively participating in
participant
in our Instagram stuff, sharing and talking.
Sure.
She is a blogger on Instagram called Cannabis and Sex, which are two amazing things.
Absolutely.
So when you put them together, it's like amazing.
Yeah.
But she's been so like fun, like posting us and like saying that, like playing us at her store. She works in an adult toy store.
Yeah, I know. I was like thinking we're playing on the speakers at a store, and I think she's in Canada.
I think so. Yeah, Montreal.
Yeah, so like that's fucking cool.
Yeah, so we just want to be like super thank you and
shout out,
and it's cannabis_N_sex. So CANNABIS_N_sex. Definitely check her out. She is awesome, and she does a blog like where she talks about like the different weed strains that she does, the toys that she uses, masturbation, everything. It's just
like information that all of us need.
Absolutely. We all need that stuff.
We all need that.
Like what strain goes really good with my giant purple dildo? If I had one. I realized that by saying that, it made it seem like I have this
giant purple dildo?
Yeah,
I thought we weren't going to discuss that on the air.
Don't play it off like I actually have one and now we're just pretending that I don't.
Do you?
I mean, I could.
You might.
Married Toys, they sent me a thing talking about like how to, adjust my sex toy, the one that I had from like how it sucks, and they're like, oh well, try this and it might make it better, attaching this, put in like MacGyver it. I don't want to MacGyver my sex toy. I
MacGyvered one.
I mean, yeah, but you have like 11 to put together.
That's true. I do. I have a lot of them.
It's like Voltron in your vagina.
I do have a lot of them.
And I'll form the head.
You're just jealous.
I am jealous.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what jealousy sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, let me sip on my haterade. Hold on. Oh. You can't sip on whiskey like it was haterade.
You're like going to burn your trachea.
It's good. And my dick grew 3 inches this day.
And you have like 5 more chest hairs, which you really desperately need.
Whoa. What do you mean? I have a nice little thing, little patch.
Yeah.
It looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like after you've mowed the lawn but you need a new lawnmower where it
like a manual mower.
Yeah, like it left like a majority.
Like shaving your pubes with a Bic razor.
Yeah, but then it's like there's like so many onesie twosies up everywhere.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
But it's not even.
Yeah, there's patches. It's patchy.
It's not even patchy.
I have
like 4 hairs to the northeast.
No, but it works because I'm not down for like super hairy men, like back hair, chest hair, arm hair, neck hair, like. All of that. So
I should shave the little bit that I have.
You should. It might grow in fuller.
That's not what I was thinking.
Oh.
I was just thinking I should shave it because it's like embarrassing. You know what I mean? It's like because if I shave it, I could be like I shaved my chest.
You can't actually. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, so I can be like, I shaved my chest. Feel how smooth it is.
No one would ask you. They would just assume that you do, unless you have 7 sporadic random 4-inch hairs.
You know what else is weird? And I know this is like we had a topic to cover, but thank you for bringing this up. I feel like when I turned 35,
I was there for that.
Yeah, I feel like my areola hairs are weird. Like on my right boob, I always have one super long nipple hair. Like an insanely long. Like where
you know what? You ever heard the expression manscape?
Yeah, no, I know.
You need to trim your shit.
I know,
like
and
you're not supposed to be watching the patterns of your nipple hair growth. If you had just been trimming and shaving and grooming it this whole time, you wouldn't notice these things.
But let's just say, for argument's sake, I have 30 hairs on my nipple.
That's a lot. You don't have 30
okay, let's
hairs.
say 15. Let's say I have 15.
Okay, we'll go with 15.
One of them is like a mile long. Like one time I was like standing somewhere and I was like, what the hell is this like hair on my shirt? And I started pulling on it and I could feel my boob. I'm like, oh my God. But it makes no sense because I never had to worry about that stuff.
Yeah.
And then my ear hair.
You do have ear hair now.
It's like you help me because you love me.
Yeah.
And I can't do it on my own.
I know you'd pierce your fucking eardrum or something. I don't even know. You're like, I trimmed my ear hair and there's just
blood.
No, there's like still hair everywhere.
But for some reason,
I try to help out.
You do. And so let's pretend you did that on Monday. Like Wednesday, you're like, didn't I just do all of this? How'd you get so many hairs?
Well, to be honest with you, days? I was thinking, speaking of hair and just, the grooming of it, I really was considering just going like full natural with my vagina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm sick of like having to keep up with it. First of all, I know you're looking at me like, how dare you?
No, I'm looking at you inquisitively. I'm like listening intently as to your reasoning. The fucking
maintenance of it is fucking bullshit. Like, why do I have to maintain it like this just because you don't like hair down there? That doesn't make any sense to me anymore.
A disclaimer for the show.
I've done that for a long time because I feel like you like it more. But I'm dealing with razor burn. I'm dealing with ingrown hairs. I'm dealing with it burning. I'm dealing with it bleeding. I'm dealing with fucking all this shit. And it's like, what is the point? Why can't I just have pussy hair? I can have pussy hair if I want to have pussy hair.
No, by all means. I mean, it's your body, your choice.
I haven't done it yet, but I don't know. I'm like definitely swinging in that direction right now. I did waxing. I got to go pay to have someone wax my pussy every 3 weeks or whatever it is. And even that didn't work perfect because it grows back weird. And then you have to like keep going like again and again and again and again and again. I had a wax pass and then I'm like, this is expensive. And then I guess I could do laser treatment, but that's expensive. Like all this work for what purpose? What is is a hairless pussy a prettier pussy? I don't think so.
No, these are all really good. These are all valid points you're bringing up.
Yeah, you need to understand.
Oh, I understand. I hear you, and I support you in whatever decision you make.
Okay.
But
as long as we're on that same,
If I can just,
there's a but.
Yeah, if I can just, throw a little question back at you. You're talking about, for me, manscaping, right? Aren't you gonna have to womanscape then?
Yeah, absolutely.
And doesn't it become a lot more maintenance because maybe?
No, I'll get like a buzzer, put that shit in number 2, and just zzz, zzz, zzz. I'll have like little short hairs on there. They don't have to be like hella long.
Right.
Doesn't have to be like coming up my stomach, or whatever. Like I'll still have to trim it to a degree, but like the main like I don't know main playing field doesn't have to be as like I don't have to
ground zero.
Yeah, like I don't have to do it. I'm like concerned I'm gonna shave my clit one of these days. I'm always concerned about that. Remember that time you nicked your balls? Like that's a problem that could happen.
That was so bad.
It's just like I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I'm just like feeling my womanhood even more so now than ever before.
Yeah.
But like I'm like fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it anymore because I'm not really doing it for myself.
Right, you're doing it for others.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Don't look at me like that.
I'm looking at you. I'm listening. This is what listening looks like. Janel.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like you're about to say something. Really
I'm not going to say anything sarcastic. You have to understand. We're in a public forum.
I have to understand.
Yeah, we're in a public forum. If I said something to you right now that would be like shitty and masculine,
you can
I
say
would
whatever
have,
you want. Let the listeners decide whether it's shitty or masculine. I live with you. I hear it all the time.
No, I'm pretty honest on this thing.
I'm just kidding. You can say whatever you want.
No, but this is what I'm thinking. So you tend to meet men sometimes, and you like to have them have some fun, and sometimes they we were talking about pussy pics on the last episode. Sometimes they want to see that, and I'm just wondering.
Yeah, and the fact that I hardly send them.
I know that you hardly do, but you do one sometimes. So do you want to show? Do you want to show your
disclaimer?
vagina within a sweater? Like this? Like
what's the problem?
Like, is it because it's winter? You got it in a nice coat.
Maybe that's what I'm going through. I'm not sure.
You got your vagina in a nice little sweater. It's sweater weather. I'm just
sick.
I'm just wondering, because we were watching porn the other day, and you seemed to really like the girls. They had hair, but they were
Ron, shut the fuck up. Are you fucking kidding me? She had a pretty little triangle fucking patch above her fucking pussy.
Yeah, I mean, so she's still.
Damn it, that's like extra work. That's even more grooming, because you have to groom it. You have to shave it bald around the triangle, then trim the triangle, and then you have to keep shaving around the triangle. And then, because that's growing every day. I'm Italian. I'm a hairy person.
Uh-huh.
I have hair. I don't have blonde fine hairs. It's a everyday thing. Every other day.
Yeah.
Every other day. I have to maintain, and it's just becoming exhausting.
I hear you.
And I know most of our listeners are females, so I'm pretty sure that I'm relating to a couple of people right now.
Well, what was it, 88% or something?
Yeah, something like that. I'm just saying I'm annoyed by the whole thing. Maybe I just don't have a proper razor. If anyone has any suggestions, I'm ready to listen to them. But right now it's just pissing me off, and it's causing me more pain than it's worth.
I feel bad that you are going through this.
You feel bad? You don't shave your balls on a regular basis.
No, but I trim.
Yeah, you trim.
I trim.
Yeah, so
trim.
I'm just going to trim. How about that?
So wait, let me see if I get this straight. You're making it sound as though if I shave my balls,
you're not going to be able to keep up with it.
No, I'm just saying.
You just talked about a mile-long nipple hair that you've had for I don't even know how long it's been there.
I got rid of it.
How long has it been there?
No, the moment I noticed it, I get rid of it.
Okay, fine, we'll go with that. But you're saying that you've watched the nipple hair growth on your nipples, right? For however many, probably months, years.
It's just gone out of hand
over
the last, 9 years.
Totally fine. You're gonna sit there and spread your legs and shave your balls around your dick in a very careful manner every other day.
Every other day. Okay. Well, I mean,
every other day. Every 3 days.
I mean,
how annoying does that sound?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
So what you're saying is if I buy you laser hair removal, you'll go that route?
Yep.
Got it. See, these are all good things. This is communication.
Yeah.
We've always said on the show, we've said two things. We're not therapists.
we said two things.
We're not therapists.
That's true.
Communicating is important.
Perfect.
Say your piece.
I did.
Say your piece. And I listen, if you never shave and or even trim ever again, that's not going to keep me away. Are you trying to keep me away from your pussy? Because that's not going to work. Okay, because
I'm not trying to keep you away. Why would I do that?
No, I'm just saying, I don't know if you think that will keep me away. You're I know how to keep Ron away from this face, away from my pussy.
God. Yeah, I definitely want that. I was thinking in my head a way that you will never lick my pussy again. I was like, I have a good idea. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm never gonna shave again. Because
when we first got together, you had hair, and I enjoyed it just as much as I do today with no hair. I just love your pussy.
I don't think you're recalling the facts properly, but that's fine. It was 20 years ago, so 22 years ago.
It was pretty close facts.
Mm-hmm. Nope, not at all.
It was.
No.
It was facts-ish.
No.
Either way, you're not going to get rid of this face on that pussy.
Well, thanks. I appreciate the commitment.
I support it no matter what form it's in.
Thank you.
Because I love you.
Thank you. I really appreciate the fact that you're backing me on this decision about my vagina.
Yeah. I give you permission.
Thank you. I was waiting for it. I was hoping and praying that I would receive that from you this evening, and so I'm at ease now. My mind and my pussy are at ease.
Yeah, in fact, the more hair, the better. I want it that way.
Whoa.
yeah.
Oh, so you don't even want any trimming. You just want me to
I want
just let it grow,
the
see
whole
how
thing.
long it could get.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I want to have to like put a backpack on
Easy
and then
breezy.
and then like pack a lunch and then look for your clit.
Go on an exploration.
Yeah. And then when you try to push me away, I'll be like, no swiper, no swiping.
Oh my God.
Oh, we went there.
Yeah.
I
no,
did.
you went there.
I did.
Not me. You.
And then I can record it and have like David Attenborough. He ventures into the canvas that is her vagina and finds her clitoris. And I don't know a lot of vagina parts. I'm an ignorant man.
Yeah.
But I support you.
Good thing.
Which is important.
That is important.
I'm a 2019 kind of guy.
Well, thanks.
So, what were we saying? Oh, so what we were saying is
I don't know. We talked
we
about
we
my
always
pussy a lot.
yeah. Well, it's my favorite topic.
Yeah.
I love talking
Well,
about
I brought
it.
it up to
You
be
did.
to be honest.
So we're always trying to think of things to talk about, and we realized that we've never really discussed in detail how this whole open thing transpired.
Mm-hmm.
We did. I'm pretty sure we talked about, just to give everybody a refresher course in case this is your first time listening. I think we did talk about in an episode how when we were not together, we were both sleeping with people ish. I say ish on my end. You were sleeping with people. And every time we would tell the other person that we did that, we would have this like insane fuck session where it was like, oh yeah. Like, I'm not even kidding people. And my recollection is always a little bit off. So Janelle will have to verify or not verify this. But she was like, oh yeah. Did she ride your dick like this? She like that? She let you fuck her in the ass like this? You like that? And I'm just like, oh, no to all those things, but this is amazing. Thank you. So that was hot, you know? And then vice versa. And I'd be like, oh, does he know how to lick you here and touch you there? And we kind of went back and forth, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of sparked this, like, it seemed like competition at the time.
Right. A little bit.
But I think that it kind of like sparked this thing in us where it was like, that's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Knowing that we're with each other, but other people want us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So then we get together, and anytime you get back together after such a tumultuous breakup, it's rough, right? Would you say?
Yeah, I would think so. This is the only time that I've done that. So, but yes, it was for us.
Yeah, it was kind of rough. So we're like trying to put the pieces together, and you were still kind of feeling trapped because you had seen the world and you really liked it.
Yep.
And then you were like,
yes.
You're like, do I really have to like give up this for this? You know, which is
no, it's not this for this. It's not, and it's not giving up. It's more just like, I had a sense of being independent.
Yeah.
And after being in a relationship, part of a team for so long, and never really having that independence, and then having it, and then now trying to navigate in a world where I still wanted that independence, but then also incorporating you. Where it was before, it was just me and you globbed together. We didn't have our individuality. We were just like the bellows.
Right.
I said our last name, but whatever.
Everybody knows our
last name, whatever.
knows, yeah.
So then it was like, okay, how do I maintain this individuality apart from sex? I'm not talking about just sex. I'm just talking about being a person in the world that exists
totally.
aside.
Because when you're in a
from our
relationship,
yeah,
you fuse together.
You fucking fuse together,
Yeah.
which is stupid, but lots of people do it, and whatever, it works for some, I'm sure. But for me, it was like, no, like I want to figure out some stuff to do on my own, and so, but I still love you. So like, how do we? Which I feel like is something we could have probably talked about more before breaking up, but that's in hindsight.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why people break up, because they don't talk.
Yeah.
We didn't.
No, we didn't.
And we've covered that.
Yeah, we've covered that. But besides that, yes. So we got back together, and I was like, oh, crap, what am I going to do? I still want to go out and have, like, a good time. I still want to, like, have a party. Like, party. Like, I want to have a good time with my life. I want to have fun. I want to go out with my girls. I want to do my thing, But then I also would like to still be with you. So how do we figure that out?
And you also wanted to still be lusted after, because
Yeah,
that was
fun.
like, because that's a thing, Who doesn't want to feel like they're
I'd
wanted.
been with like 5 men my whole life. I'm 40 years old. Like, I mean, I wanted more experiences.
Yeah.
For myself.
Yeah. So then we get back together, and the conversation was all over the place. Oh my goodness! And it was just.
Well, you weren't on board, and I think we've talked about this.
Yeah. No, because
you didn't like it.
No,
or
because
the idea of it.
Because I knew that you at the time, well, not even at the time, because at the time you were like a whole new different person. But previous, like in our early relationship, you were a very jealous person. So I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those things where it's just like you're, going to go fuck people. And then if I go do it, you're going to like jump down my throat about it. So I was like, this isn't going to work out. And then we start to like, so then we're like, okay, let's not do it. And then we're like, there has to be some form of way that it can work. And we didn't understand because we didn't know anything. We're naive, right? We didn't know whether or not we could even be in the same room with seeing the other person. Like,
yeah, we had no idea what, like we no.
Right? Like, I don't know. I mean, am I going to think it's hot to watch you suck a dick? Who knew?
Who knew? I had no idea.
I mean, I can tell you the answer to that now. And that's a big old yes.
A big old yes.
But at the time it was like, I don't think I can do that. And vice versa.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, but we knew we wanted to be together, right? So we knew that much. So we were like, okay, let's keep working on us, and we'll figure out the rest as it goes along, right?
True.
True
that.
We're in the same vicinity here.
Same vicinity.
Then we go to a bar, and we're hanging out, and I see some people that I've met previously. This couple.
Yeah.
And I introduced them to you, and they were like, "You're married? I thought you were gay." And I was like, "So
True
does
story.
everybody."
Yeah.
So does everybody. So we're hanging out, we're chilling. Was that that night?
No, it wasn't I don't think it was the first night.
So we have a great time.
Yeah.
We go back to their place, we hang out, we're doing karaoke, we're singing songs, we go home. And you're like, I think that person was into me, like the girl and the guy or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I think so too. But like, we were like all new.
I said they were hot.
Well, yeah.
They were both very hot.
And we were like, that was interesting. So then we go home. So then we go back out with them.
I think we were like dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were dancing, and it was like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're growing up, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's gone through this, but like when you're growing up and you're hanging out with your friends and it hits 3 a.m., that's when all the real conversations happen. Did you ever notice that?
Well, we were like drunk and
and then
you're beyond the point of fucking anything that could make any sense.
Right. But 3 o'clock is always the time where someone would start crying, being like, "You're my best friend, and I can't believe this." And everyone's...
I always had to be home because I had a child waiting for me. So.
That is a very valid point. So then we hang out with them again, and we go to another bar, and then we go back to their place, and I can't remember exactly what the events were, but it was almost like
there was flirting going on.
Oh yeah, we started to realize that there was heavy flirting going on.
Yeah, like it wasn't just like 0 to 100. It was like there was flirting going on.
Yeah, there was like this like dynamic, this like aura in the air, like there was like a scent.
No, and that's the first time I had experienced anything like that because I was so like confused, but then also like this is exciting, but like didn't really know how to approach it because here I am and we're like dancing, doing our thing, just like just being ourselves, and then I'm dancing with the boyfriend and you're dancing with the girlfriend, and then like people are getting a little handsy and I'm like, am I about to get slapped by this girl, like because her man is on my shit? But it wasn't like that. She was dancing with you and I'm like, and are they trying to fuck us right now?
And then what's so funny is that this is so typical us, because whenever, like if Janelle says, okay, we only have $100 to our name, we don't get paid for 2 weeks, so we're not going out. And then the next day, it's like, oh, there's this thing we have to go out, and we wind up spending like $300. So every time that we're always like this is what we're gonna do. This is the path. We're not gonna deviate from it. Something always happens. So we had both.
You mean
me and you.
You mean that we were pausing on that conversation,
completely
focusing on ourselves,
focusing
which
on
I
us.
was actually really like proud of myself because you were so like sus. You're like hella sus about me, and you're like, no, you're not gonna be able to handle that. And it's gonna be crazy.
Let's get there.
Yeah, we can get there. That's
we're
fine.
We're getting there.
I'm just saying, in general, you
Yeah.
were dancing with this person.
Like immediately, like I was like so scared. I was like, is something gonna happen?
Well, no, go dance. I don't care.
So then the most insane thing happened. They come. She goes to the girl goes to the bathroom, comes back out, and says, "We should get in robes."
Oh, at their place.
At their place.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay. So then you and her go to the bathroom and put robes on, right?
Yes.
And then me and him are
I believe those are the events.
So then me and him are in the living room and we start putting robes on. And then this is where it goes haywire for me.
Haywire.
Because I know a lot of people like probably don't think that it's very masculine to have some kind of like insecurity.
Uh-huh.
But like this dude was built like a brick shithouse. I mean, he was like cut.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was like super fit and like.
So is she? What are you
No,
kidding
but hold
me?
on. I'm not in the bathroom. I haven't seen this yet. So me.
Oh, for you in that moment, this is what's going through your head.
Yeah. So for me, this guy takes off his shirt, and up to this point, and even after this point, but up to this point, I'm like, I've never really looked at a dude and said, "Oh my god, that guy's sexy." But when this guy took his shirt and his pants off,
Yeah,
I
he
was
like
like
tattoos and nice body,
and I was like,
oh.
and then so I leave my t-shirt on
Oh, poor
and
guy.
I put the robe
poor guy.
over it, but I
Come
took my
on.
pants off. I put
Ease
the
up.
robe over it, and then in that moment, I'm like, okay, there's some shit. There's something's gonna happen, and then you and her come out of the bathroom. And you're in robes. Now, take me into the bathroom. What was going on in there? Do you remember?
Oh, I was drunk and like ripping my clothes off. I was like, I don't care. She's like at least 15 years younger than me.
I think so.
10 to 15 years younger than me.
He was
Beautiful.
10 to 15 years younger than me.
You said take me into the bathroom.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, but just as everybody gets the idea of age, since we're bringing up age.
We already talked about you feeling inferior.
But he was also 10 to 15 years younger.
Yes.
Continue.
So she's younger than me, beautiful, has never had kids. I don't know, much thinner than me. I don't know. Just all the thoughts in my head are like, well, I could either go full balls to the wall with this or like act like a little bitch and not. But like I'm in this moment and I'm having a good time. Everything is positive, and if they were not attracted to me and or us, we wouldn't be here. So there has to be something that like they like. So I was just like, I don't care. I really don't care. Like I'll get naked in most places at this point in my life, which I've never been like that before. But
Right.
like I'm not perfect. My body is not perfect by any stretch, and I just don't give a shit anymore. So I think like my sister helped me with that. Like she kind of liberated me a little bit, like because she's a little bit more free with herself than I ever have been. And so I don't know. I think I'm going off on a tangent, but we were in Las Vegas or something. And we had to like share a bathroom. And there literally was like 4 girls in one room and then one big bathroom with a fucking glass shower. And we're all having to get ready and go out. And it wasn't like I was going to lock the door so that no one could use the mirror so because we all had to go out. We went to see the Backstreet Boys. We all had to get ready at the same time. And I was just like, I don't even care. I'm taking my clothes off. I'm taking a fucking shower. If anyone wants to come in here, like, come on in, you know? And so like, I don't know, there were moments in the past 2-3 years, I would say, where I'm just like, I don't care. So I'm in the bathroom. She's getting her shit together, and she's like, here, take this. This will look nice on you. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I took my clothes off, and I put the robe on.
And then you come out, and I'm in a robe, and he's in a robe.
Yeah.
And we look at each other.
I was so wasted, though, dude.
I know.
I remember it, but I was
Right.
so drunk.
I was actually feeling like I got a little sober at the moment,
You're like,
and I was
oh,
just like,
shit.
yeah. But then when you come out, we look at each other and we had like a full blown conversation. You were like, You were like, dude, this might actually happen. And I'm like, is this gonna be cool? And you're like, oh, this is 100% cool. We need to see where this is gonna go. Blah blah blah. So then there's a little bit of dancing going on, and then she says we should play Truth or Dare, which
I thought you said that.
no, she said it. She said we should play Truth or Dare.
You guys were always the fucking
Ringleaders.
yeah.
Well, just the
Me and him were like, what? We're drunk. Let's just fuck. And then you guys were always like formulating a plan in the corner or something. That's how I always felt anyway.
but so then she says we should play Truth or Dare,
Yeah.
and then they were like, who's gonna go first? And I was like, I'll go first. And they were like, okay. So then I was like, all right, Janelle, Truth or Dare? And then you said
Dare.
and then I said,
First one was go down on her.
yeah, I said, I dare you to lick her pussy.
Yeah.
And you were like,
Okay.
and
But I was like so scared.
but let's rewind. If anybody's listened to all of them and following the meta of the show, they will remember that up to this point, Janelle had always said that she would never
Oh yeah, never.
lick a pussy.
I said I would never do it.
And I was like, I dare you to lick her pussy. And you were like, I'm on it.
Yeah, because I wanted to try it.
Yeah. And it was so hot.
And then like I remember we talked about this during our Snow Bunny episode, and I was talking about how I had like revealed that to my mom because she's like, I would never do that. And I was like, oh, I've done that. And she's like, what? But like that was me before. Like I was always just a little bit like, I can't do that. That's gross. I'm not a lesbian. I'm not into that, you know. But that's such a closed-minded way to think. And so I've always been like attracted to females. They're sexy. Like I'm always finding myself looking at them, you know, just like I would look at a man. So it's like, well, I want to try it out and see how it makes me feel.
Yeah. And it was awesome. And then
For like 30 seconds. We had like time limits and everything. You're like, go down on her for 30 seconds.
Yeah. And then you did the same. You immediately said, I dare you to do it. And I was like, you're the best. You're the best wife on the planet.
Yeah.
So then I did. And then she said something like, oh, he's really good at that. And you're like, hold on, let me see. And then without even a dare, you went right back and you started to do it differently. And then she was like, oh, that's really good. And then it just wound up being like this thing. And he's like, oh, this. And then the guy's like, well, I want something. And then I think, what did we do to him? I can't even remember. I was so focused on.
Oh, they both went down on me.
Oh yeah, then it went to both of them. So then
that was nice.
They both went down on you. Oh my goodness! And then
this is getting me hot. Just
I know.
Thinking about it. Woo.
And then
I need to put the AC on in here, even though it's like 25 degrees outside.
And then there was like we were all kissing, and then it just got to a point where we were just like took a break and we're just having fun, and then we put on Little Mermaid, Part of Your World, and then the two of you started singing to each other and taking each other's clothes off to that song. And now that song is like kind of gets me hard every time.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Best night.
That was an incredible evening.
That was an incredible evening.
I mean, we wound up not having sex.
I think no, we didn't have sex, but it was like not only the sex part, it was like the bonding between us. That you know what I mean? Like we had some kind of a trust that was built in that moment.
Yeah, it was almost like an instantaneous, unspoken trust that we had that kind of like turned into what would eventually be our current state of existence.
Right, exactly.
Oh my goodness, what else did we do? Oh, didn't you go down on him? And then I was like licking her asshole.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Your face was in her ass at one point.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what I was doing. I think I
Yeah,
was just watching.
and then it just kind of got all spun out. So then we're like, okay, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
And then so we went home and we were like, oh my God, that was crazy. And then we had insane sex. And then
yeah, it was like 4:00 in the morning or something. Like, whoa, what just happened?
and then we were like, we're gonna go. Then they hit us up again, and then we went back for like a round 2. That was a little bit more. It was like straight to it, where they were trying to get you off, and then she jumped on him, and it was our first time doing same room basically. Like I was having sex with you.
Yeah, exactly.
They were having sex together. And it was just kind of like the lights were on, which I really feel like up to this point, we didn't even really have sex with the lights on with each other, let
Yes,
alone.
we did, but that's fine.
No, not like on a regular basis. I'm just saying, and then suddenly here we are with other people and the lights are on and everything's up and we're just out there. And
Yeah, it's called beer balls.
yeah. I'm still wearing my shirt. It's like the sex pool.
I'm sorry you feel like that.
No,
you have
it's
to wear a shirt.
No, it's fine. I'm good.
It's kind of interesting because I never think about that. Like a man could be like ashamed of his body because a lot of the time it's like the focus is on a female being ashamed of her body, but that could happen for men too.
Yeah, guys go through that stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But I mean, we've had sex with people and I've had my shirt off. It kind of gets to that point. It was just something like with them. I just was in my head too much about it. But man, that kind of sparked this whole thing for both couples. But we wound up going on like this little excursion, and then we were like, okay, we need to see if we can do this with people we don't know. Mm-hmm. And then we met these two people on this app. And we met them at this restaurant, and we had food, and he wasn't really that attractive, but she was cute, and we did the whole, like, we're going to go outside and smoke a cigarette and discuss this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then you were like, yeah, I could do this, because your dick dar was in full effect. You were like, I think he's got a big dick. Mm-hmm. This would be fun.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
That was cool too. That was had a good personality. It was still weird though because you're like going on a date as a couple. You know?
Yeah,
it's like two couples on a date, on a first date. Like we're meeting each other. We walk up, we see them sitting there, and we're just like, oh, there they are. Okay, this is real. Like because up to this point, we'd only talked to them through messaging,
right?
And so. Just like meeting them there, sitting down, like, oh, what are you gonna have to eat? Are we gonna share stuff? Okay, great. I mean, it was like a first date, but it was a couple.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It was fucking weird.
And then you're really good at this. Like, one of the things that Janelle does is like we'll be in a situation, and then once she's gotten all the information that she needs, she's like, okay. We're gonna do this. What are we doing? We fucking let's go have sex.
Well, that's what everyone is there for,
right? And it's just interesting because like me, I'm like sitting there waiting for the consent without asking, like being like, hey, I want someone to be like, hey.
Well, that is the consent.
No, I know.
Are we gonna get naked now or not?
Right. It's just you have better beer balls than I do.
I do have very good beer balls.
Like so many times we'll be in a situation and Janelle will be like, all right, this is great. Can I kiss you now? Can I'm going to suck your dick. Is that cool?
Is that cool? Like, can I do that?
Yeah. One time
I ask.
You do. But one time we were like doing something and you just started taking off your clothes. And I was like, oh. And then everybody's like, oh, okay. And then we just got right into it.
Yeah.
So you're just like, let's move this party forward. I don't know
You
what
know
all
what that is? You know what that is?
Confidence?
Emotional intelligence.
So we get back to our place. We are talking. Janelle's like, can we do this now? And then she's like, oh, can I kiss you to the girl? And yeah, so you're like making out with her. And then they start taking their clothes off. And then we're like in like a standing up cuddle puddle.
Oh, this was the second couple that we met?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one that we had dinner with and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did she say again?
No, we were fucking around and dancing and stuff, and they were like all on my shit, which I could immediately tell that they were like all their attention was on me.
Right.
And so that's fine, whatever. I'm dancing with her. We're taking our clothes off. It's very sexy. It's like living in a porn. It's very sexy.
Yeah.
And they're cool. Like they're totally cool people. And we kiss and stuff, touching her boobies. They're great, and we go to the bedroom and like hands are everywhere and everyone's like ready to get to that next point. And then I think she like had her hand on your dick and like I'm like on the other side of you, like, and then he's on the other side of me. So like it's like a cuddle puddle type of thing.
Right.
But then like he was ready to fuck because they were getting condoms and all of that. And then she's like, oh, I just let you know I have my period. And you're like, oh. Like, your dick is hard. It's in her hand. And she's like, no, I can't have sex. So I'm going to have my period. And we were like, okay. So then I don't know what to do because I'm just like, well, okay. Like, I'm about to get this dick, but then he's not going to be able to, get in there because she's on her period. So like, what do we do? Do we abort the mission at this point? Are we like abort the mission? Like, this is not going to be equal. I didn't really know, but then I think we had, if I recall, like we had another one of those moments where it was like, just go ahead, like like everyone's naked and like it's about to happen, and that was really fun. But like we banged for a little while, and then I think you came or something, and then everyone was like waiting for him, and then she went down on her husband, and she was like, my mouth is really tired. Like, are you gonna come yet? And I'm just like, what? Like, why don't you reschedule this? Like, but your pussy's out of commission. Apparently your mouth is out of commission. And I think she just gave him a hand job until he came. And that was the end of it. And then it was like, okay, nice to meet you guys.
All right, guys, take care.
Thanks. It was like, it's very weird. I haven't fully successfully mastered the exit part.
Well, because
I'm very bad at like saying goodbye in general to like non-sexual situations. Like I shady bounce all the time.
Yep.
So for that, those moments are very extra weird for me. Like I never exactly know what to say, okay, we'll see you soon. Like maybe not, probably not. That's why the other time I like ran out of the room. I was like, nope, getting out of here. Bye. I didn't think I said goodbye. I just like got my clothes and left.
Oh, I know.
I'm so bad at the goodbye part. So I don't know, but that was it. But even though like there's like all these weird little scenarios that we've had, they've all been pretty fun. And then also like our bond grows, which is like I never in 20 years would have thought that this is where we'd be.
No, I agree 100%.
And I don't even think I don't like to classify or like identify as like a swinger. I know that that's like what it's supposed to what we're supposed to identify as.
We're just
but like,
open.
Yeah, we're just like we have
open
a good time.
To the moment.
Open to the moment. Exactly. Yep.
But like it all started with Truth or Dare.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had the concept in our heads, obviously, and then we just didn't know. We didn't have enough faith, I think, in us.
No,
because we were still. The reason why things didn't work out with us is because we never communicated. So we were still just learning to communicate. And
not just like communicating like with sex or sexual situations or sex between each other. We didn't communicate about anything. Everything was an argument, whether it be, this bill is due or the kid needs to be dropped off here or there. I mean, we're just like very poor at communication in general.
Just
so
on every level.
Yeah. So like this, I don't know.
But
I feel like this like just it bonded us in a different way and allowed for us to like trust one another on this like deeper level,
which then opened the communication levels
for
because
like other
we weren't.
Things. Yeah.
No, I agree because like when we could see that given options in the world, we still choose each other, and even though we're in a situation like we're both kissing other people or we're both with like someone else in the same room, that we're still together in a way that like was a surprise to myself. So I don't know about you, but like me, I was shocked, and it really just kind of like made this thing where it's just kind of like all the things that I thought were these big grandioso markers in a relationship were really not. They were put there growing up as a kid being told this is what a relationship looks like by people who weren't in one.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the first key, and it's just like creating our own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're making our own rules.
Make our own rules. And it really, it just kind of like opened up this whole new version of us, where we just go with the moment and we care more about having fun because we can support each other than we do, the little shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
It's very important.
And it was so fun.
It was so fun.
And it is so fun.
And then we started realizing that, like, I don't know, maybe we never thought about this before, but we have, like, our shit a little bit more together than a lot of people. So then it was like, oh, we're not the worst couple in America or the world. Like,
Yeah.
We actually have some good shit. Like, we have some good qualities about our relationship that we really need to focus on that.
Right.
As opposed to, like, all the things that are wrong with our relationship, or all the ways we don't get along, maybe, or, you know, we argued about this last week. It's like, mostly we trust each other and we're each other's best friend. Not to sound like too sappy, but like,
Sap it up, baby.
no, I'm saying, like, in that moment, it's like, if you can get through those things and come out the other side, I say props to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, we were talking to this one couple, the one that you were talking to, and they were saying the same thing. Like, it's just nice to have so many hands on you. Like, that's an experience. Like, if you're a couple,
if you're a person that says that they do not like to be touched, then you're not being, like, I feel like you're not being honest. But like, there is something to be said about like, all your senses being in, like, just fucking at its peak, you know? Whether it's like your taste or your smell or your touch, or you're looking at your partner, like, kiss someone or what, everything is like so intensified in those moments.
oh yeah.
And I mean, if you're into sex, you know, like, why wouldn't you want to see and experience those things? It's so sexy.
Yeah, like when we're having sex with a, like, just let's say threesomes, right? So if we're having sex with a girl, like, just because I'm inside of her at that moment, you're not like off somewhere. You're like right there. You're doing stuff to her. She's doing stuff to you. It's we're like connected via this third person. And you know, we're in a situation where you're like, yeah, fuck her like this and do that, and that's hot. That's like significantly hotter than if I just met some chick at a bar and just banged her at her apartment.
Exactly.
And then throw a guy into the mix where it's just us two and a guy. You're having someone inside both of your holes, and you're being, you know, touched in all these different ways. You can be like bent over and having someone fuck you from behind while another person's sucking on your tits from the front. I mean, you're getting it from everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And I know you love that. Get it, Janel. So there's just a lot of things. And I know that sometimes people, they're just like, oh, okay, you guys are just like, you just like having sex. You're just like, and it's like, it's really not necessarily about that. It's really just about enjoying the moment. Yeah. You know? So it's just, I don't know.
We've met really cool people along the way on our little adventure.
Yeah. Like we have a person that's like a really, really close friend of ours that we met through this, and we never wound up having sex with him and his wife. Mm-hmm. But we just kind of like met them, and now they're like,
oh yeah, like
friends for life.
Yeah.
You know, because it's nice to meet people who are sex positive.
Yeah, they have similar views on sex and relationships and that type of thing. It's kind of nice.
And it's just having fun in the moment.
Yeah.
And not being like weighted down by insecurities. I know I've grown personally in this because I feel better about myself. Yeah. Because I know that like I'm a part of it. Yeah. All. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just a really interesting thing. And I thought that, you know, you brought this up earlier. You're like, hey, we've never told this story, you know, the one with Truth or Dare or the robes and all that stuff. We never really went in detail with that.
Yeah, that was the first. That was the introduction to this like open world that we're in, and it was a very positive way to be introduced to that world. It was a very safe space. I felt really comfortable with those people, and it was something that we were curious about, and it just kind of like fell into our lap. Like
it did.
Like the universe was like, okay, you're toying around with the idea of this. Like, here you go. What are you gonna do with this? You know. Yeah. We didn't fight about it. I was never like, oh my god, you had your face in her ass for like 5 seconds longer than I thought you should be. Like, it was just very, very positive on our part the whole time.
And that's where like, I know this, people are probably being like, there's something wrong with them, but that's where like the trust thing, I really got to see a different side of the side that I assumed had existed for 20 years. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? You're asking me to trust you. You're not going to get mad at me. This is what I'm going to do. And then like, that this is real. We're different. Yeah. We've grown. Yeah. As people. And that's hard. Yeah. It's really hard to really believe unless you have faith.
Well, because if you're with your partner for a long time, you have I don't know, you kind of like fall into these roles. Like you fall into a role, and then you have every day that you fit that mold, and this is who I am in the relationship. This is what I do in the relationship. This is what I handle in the relationship. This is who I am. But then one day you're like, no, I don't really want to do this. Like, I don't really want to be the one that always takes the trash out. I don't know. It could be something as simple as that, and we're talking about sex, but it's not just about sex. It's about lots of different things. I don't want to be the one that takes the fucking garbage out every day. You take the fucking garbage out sometimes,
Yeah.
Or I want to be the one who spends money on $500 shoes today. Like,
right.
It always, like, with marriage and relationships, it always feels like that, where you just, there's a mold and you're like, here you go, you do that, and this is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your relationship. And we've been together a long time.
Yeah.
And so breaking up and getting back together, we had a chance to like kind of like reinvent ourselves in the relationship,
Yeah. Because we were kind of like, I think what happened was, we had the final ultimate fight where, we were both like, oh yeah, well, I don't like yellow, I actually like blue, and you never wanted to know my color, and you're like, yeah, well, I fucking like this, and I'm like, well, you can fucking
I may have liked yellow,
right, but before, I never, right.
But now I like blue, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not stuck in these fucking roles as humans. Like, I want to grow, I want to mature, I want to like evolve. Like every day, I want to learn something new, I want to do something new, I want to see something new. And it's like, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you're stuck doing the same thing or being the same person. And if the person that you're with isn't going to grow with you and let you evolve, or can't, maybe they don't want to, maybe they're happy with the person that they are, and the person that you want to be doesn't fit with that, then you need to reconsider possibly, maybe therapy. I don't know. Which
is something we always recommend, and we're not therapists ourselves.
I love therapy. Therapy's the fucking best. It's like having a best friend who's non-judgmental. Yeah. It's great. You just got to find the right one. But I'm just saying, like, we're not just discussing sex. That's just one aspect or one facet of our relationship that we're currently, like, that's currently a part of our thing. But, like, that, it didn't come from that. It was more like we were trying to figure out a different way to be where we could be happy with ourselves and then also be happy together.
And it just so happened that was the path that kind of, like...
It's fun.
That kind of opened up to us be able to say everything.
Yeah, and some people play golf together. Yeah. Or some people
paint.
Paint together.
Some people want to go write. Some people want to...
But you should go do stuff together. Yeah. Which we like to have sex with other people. That's what we do together. And then there's things that you're going to want to do as an individual, which I strongly encourage.
Yeah. So, it's just... That's just our... Like a little like... sneak peek into how it all kind of sprung out.
Yeah, we realized that we had never talked about that.
Like in full. We've talked little bits and pieces here and there, but we've never had a full discussion about it. And it's season 2, so maybe this is someone's first episode, and then they can go back and hear the other nonsense that we fucking talk about.
Nonsense.
But
we have a good time.
But yeah, it was amazing, and I'm not even kidding. Like,
no, I have no complaints.
Janelle will tell you, part of your world is like the sexiest song.
It gets you hard every time now.
But that was sexy. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you remember being in that moment, singing it to each other and like kissing and rubbing? I mean, you had your breasts touching while you're singing it, and it was like...
Yes, I remember, Ron.
Such a good song. Such a good song. It's like, I want to be where the people are.
I wonder though, like, because they were never like, I never felt like they were quite honest with us about how they were feeling, or maybe we were just like tools in their toolbox. I don't know, but like, I wish I could know like what they were feeling about that moment. But it's fine. We know how we felt.
Yeah,
and it was all good.
And we had many experiences with them.
Oh yeah.
We never got to go the full sex.
The full sex never happens.
Yeah, they were our white whale.
I was like telling you about that. Like, God, now I know how it, like, maybe how it feels. I don't know. I was feeling things I had never felt before. I don't even know how to say it.
Being put in the friend zone.
Yeah, it was put in the. Yes, exactly. That's
like,
what I was looking for.
It's like when
I was totally put in the friend zone.
Oh my god, I never told you this story. I don't think I've ever told you this story. So it's a friend zone story ish, but it's a little sex. So in high school in Napa, like the end of it all, you know, there was this girl, and she was like popular, and all the guys were always trying to go after her.
Of course.
She was like tall and blonde and the whole thing, and she I kept getting to like hang out with her, you know. And
Wait,
I think,
can I say why is tall and blonde a whole thing?
no,
What does
I don't
that
know.
mean?
No, I was just giving a description of her.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying like what she looks like, so you have like an idea.
Okay.
So then so I kept winding up like hanging out with her like on a one-on-one, and I kept feeling like, okay, I'm like stuck in this thing. I just have to like get to the next point and I'll be able to like have sex with this person. And she taught me a lesson. She did. So the lesson was, you're just a tool. Because one time she was like walking around naked in her room, and I was like, oh, this is going to happen. And then
You were in her room while she was walking around naked?
Yeah.
Okay. Naked?
Yeah, naked, full on.
Like I find like your stories, like sometimes you just like add two things that
There's no
didn't really
adding.
happen.
There's
Okay,
no
she was
adding.
totally naked, not a thong, not a bra, nothing, totally nude. Okay,
No.
continue.
So then we were having a conversation, and I was like, oh, is this how you walk around your room? And she's like, yeah. And like she had people in her house, and she's just in her room. She was like upstairs, just naked. And I'm like, okay. So then I don't know what I said. It was probably something like trying to like be like, oh, I'm really good at oral sex kind of thing. So she's like, why don't you show me? So I was like, oh, it's happening. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be able to go tell. I'm trying not to say names. I'm gonna be able to go tell my friend that I did it, and he's gonna be like, good job. And so I go down on her, and I don't know if she came. I couldn't tell at that time in my life, but it was for a little while. I probably was terrible at it. And then she's like, that was really good. Thank you. And I was like, yeah. And I guess I'll see you later. And she's like, okay, take it easy. And I was like, oh. And that taught me a lesson. That taught me the lesson that like, just because you are in a room with a girl naked and you go down on her, doesn't mean anything's going to happen. And that's kind of similar to with them. We got to like see them naked. We got to play with them. And in the end, nothing happens.
Yeah.
You know, good thing that blue balls doesn't kill, because I would have been dead.
Yeah.
In high school, which most guys would have.
Probably.
But I'm just saying that.
Like,
so
give blue balls to yourself.
Yeah. But so you kind of got to see what that feels like. That's what guys kind of go through a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks.
Yeah, it was shitty. I was like, is she gonna text me? Are we gonna go out for mimosas tomorrow?
And then it's funny because sometimes she'd ghost you for like 3 months, and you'd be like, I'm never talking to her again. Then she'd be like, hey, you want to hang out? And you're like, yes.
I'm like, but be right there. I'm on my way. No, it was stupid. It was so stupid.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So what brought up this topic, you were telling me we started watching this new show called Miss Fletcher.
I love it.
And it's with Catherine Hahn. And it's on HBO?
I think so.
It's HBO or Showtime.
I feel bad not knowing.
No,
but
I'm going to find
it's
out.
one of those.
Can you tell everybody about it?
Yeah, so Catherine Hahn is a spectacular actress, and she is in this show about, I think she's probably like in her 40s.
HBO.
Mid 40s, I would say.
Yeah.
She's divorced, and she has one son who's about to go off to college, and he goes off to college, and like her whole world is her son. And it's kind of interesting because the show is called Miss Fletcher, and it is mainly about her. But then they also have like her perspective of her son, and then they have her son's, not his perspective per se, but like what he's going through as well. So she has this idea of who her son is, graduating from high school.
The love of her life. He's so sweet.
He's my baby, whatever. And he's about to go off to school, and she's like helping him like get his shit together. And in the first episode, she prepares like his favorite meal for dinner because it's his last night in the house, and he's like, I'm going out with my friends. And so he goes out with his friends, and they show his experience of his last night being home before he goes away to school, and then her last night being home alone while he's at this party and thinking that he was going to want to spend time with her. So it's just like this moment where she's realizing that, I don't know if she realizes it in that moment, but the show is about her and empty nest syndrome, which is like a thing, and what she's going through. And like the first thing that she starts doing is watching like porn.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this is fantastic because I do that. And like, I have done that. And whenever I'm bored, I do that. And she's watching porn, not only just porn, but it's like lesbian porn. And she's as far as I can tell in the show, heterosexual female. Yeah. She's into men, whatever. But when she wants to get herself off, she's watching girls the whole time.
And then she even has a fantasy in the supermarket with a girl. Because of how much porn she's watching.
Yes, she has a fantasy where there's like a French woman like giving a wine tasting in the grocery store, and she starts like fantasizing about this woman kissing her and whatever. It's just a really good show, and it's very like it's like heartfelt and has a really good message, and it's very relatable to me just because of my age, and I have kids that, you know, the one son's off to college. The other one, he's gone. Like, he's off with his girlfriend, like, doing his own thing. And I don't really have, like, little kids to take care of anymore. Yeah. So it's like, now I'm just, like, left with myself and, like, figuring out what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Besides watching porn.
And I think that it does a good job because, like, take us out of the equation. I feel like, especially being that since we started the podcast, we've kind of like really learned a lot about sex and like
we're trying. I think every day we learn more.
Yeah, but one of the things that people don't realize is that women masturbate just as much as men, and to see a show about
do we really? Do you know the stats on that?
Well, I feel like everybody masturbates.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm just saying like as much.
I'm just saying if a guy masturbates, a girl masturbates. I'm not going into how many times per day.
I'm just curious.
I'm just saying everyone
masturbates. Yes.
But that's not something that's instilled in you 10, 15, 20 years ago.
No.
That is a new concept. So to see this person who is alone and she can spend the whole day at home watching porn, it's a more realistic view of women than just like her masturbating on the show isn't a sexualized version of masturbation. Do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you watch something,
it's almost like a survival mechanism for her in the show.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll watch someone masturbate and it'll turn you on because you're like, oh, that's really hot. No, it's not
like that.
But it's not like that.
No.
And I think that is an amazing place to be at.
I think she's trying to find herself.
Yeah,
but always.
I'm just saying, I think it's an amazing place to be in cinema.
It's great.
Because usually when I see a girl masturbate on the screen, it's this super sexy, really hot thing. When I'm watching her, she's hot. It's sexy, but it's not meant to be like, oh, I'm going to turn
It's not meant to turn
the viewer on.
The viewer on.
Right. And I thought that was really well done. And I just think there's so many aspects of that show that are important. And whether you're single in a relationship, whether you're a fan of sex or not, I think this is an important show because it really illustrates what your midlife could look like.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily a midlife crisis, but that's kind of where it is. Like our empty nest syndrome led us to New York. we're like, what do we do? Let's go to New York.
Let's go to New York and freeze our asses off.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cold.
No, it's very cold. But yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think I also agree. It's a great show. So, men will also enjoy it. And if you're in a relationship, you totally watch it because I think it's a good couple show.
Men will enjoy it? I don't know.
That's so messed up. I'm a man and I enjoy it. So why would men not enjoy it?
You're kind of feminine.
Here we go. I'm not feminine.
I'm just saying, like, I do know, like, particularly some men that would not like that.
We're going to have to find out. All you guys out there, watch that show and tell me if it's good or not.
The 12%?
Yeah. Now, see, but this is the thing. I'm not telling people to go out and watch Dollface. I'm saying Miss Fletcher is a different animal.
Dollface is hysterical.
It is, but that's very feminine.
Yeah.
Where Miss Fletcher is like a really well-written show.
It's interesting to me that you don't find that show feminine.
Miss Fletcher?
Yeah.
No, it's not as feminine as Dollface.
How so?
Because I feel like Dollface is more about sisterhood and having a group of female friends and female empowerment. And Miss Fletcher is more along of being an individual and finding yourself. It just so happens that she's a woman.
She has friends too. She goes over. The one girl is trying to set her up with her husband's boss.
Yeah.
And then she goes on a blind date with the guy, and she gets freaked out because they're all like really old and like at the restaurant, and she's like, "This is not where I want my life to be." Mm-hmm. And then she finds herself excited over the fact that she's going out with her little her school group. She takes a class, night class.
But see, all of those things is just
but
an
it's
adult.
very feminine.
No, I know, but it's just an adult finding their way. Where in Dollface, they go to a club, and the first time they all see each other, they're
She's
screaming.
She's also an adult finding her way.
But the girls are all screaming. I don't know. I don't
They're
find them
just
to be
in
similar.
their 20s, as opposed to in Miss Fletcher, she's in her 40s.
Maybe then it's just.
But it's all the same.
Yeah. I like both shows. You know that.
I know.
I'm just saying I would
I
recommend.
said it's just interesting that you think one is feminine and one is not. They're both very feminine shows.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why you like them.
I just think. I just think Miss Fletcher is more well written. Maybe.
What? What are you talking about? This is derailing quickly.
I'm just saying.
Okay, I don't know. They're both great shows.
Someone out there should watch both of them, and they'll see what I'm talking about.
They'll let us know.
They'll see what I mean. Like,
because I don't
Miss
have
Fletcher,
a valid opinion.
No,
It's
Miss
just-
Fletcher is more like along the lines of Quentin Tarantino, and Dollface is more along the lines of Seth Rogen. Like, they're two different things, and I'm more of a Quentin Tarantino fan, even though I do enjoy Seth Rogen.
Okay.
Do you see my point?
Sure.
Okay. Agree to disagree.
Sure.
But that's it. That's our
That
time.
was super fun.
So fun.
Thank you for entertaining this topic with me.
Yeah. It was a good time, and we really appreciate the feedback. So keep hitting us up on Instagram. We always love to respond and chat.
Yeah.
So if there's anything you want to know, any questions you have, or anything,
Yeah, we might have to have another ask me a question like topic episode. We haven't done that in a few. We haven't done that in a little bit.
Yeah,
How many episodes do we have?
3, 4. So what is it? 25, 26?
Yeah, so like we had that way back
ago.
when. So maybe we need to readdress that.
So
that'd be fun.
And then this season we still have some guests coming up.
Yeah.
We're getting all those things together. We have I think 4 right now lined up, so it's all gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Honey.
Love you.
I love you.
So what? It's just sex.
Wait a minute.